welcome, Soul Food family. Welcome to another episode of Crossing Bridges with Ray. I am Ray, your host. And so the series that I shared with you guys is over. And I just want to put my own thoughts on it as I listen to those audios that I created a while ago. First and foremost, there is a difference between a morning routine and like a traditional morning routine, let me say that, and the way that most people go about building a relationship with God. My reasoning for combining the two is because I personally believe that there is a very, very, very special time in the morning for you and God to commune. And so I believe that the mornings is a very holy and sacred time of the day, which is another reason why I feel like it's super important for you to have a morning routine, but it is not a end all be all. Let me just say that also, because some people are not morning people. Sometimes you might want to create an evening routine or maybe a midday routine. I don't know, but I just want to put that out there. It is not an end all be all. And I really do want to speak about the end all be all. When I was moving through my desire to build a relationship with God, there was lots of instructions coming from different places, not just, coaches, but there's also like gurus and, this, that, and the other thing, and then different books that I was reading and stuff like that. I want to emphasize that it is about you and what works for you and what's best for you. Yes, I think all of those things they were necessary for me. Let me just say that. They were necessary for me because every single step gave me something different. But at the end of the day, it is always up to you and what feels good to you, what brings you closer to your goal, which is building a relationship with God. So if that is, Bible study and things of that nature, incorporate it. If it's exercise, which exercise is a part of my morning routine, I just didn't speak about it because it wasn't something that, I just didn't speak about it. Let me just leave it at that. Drinking water when you get up in the morning, saying something when you first wake up, like all of these things are things that I do and they're part of my morning routine. But I really just wanted to hone in on the different steps that I personally took and the different things that I personally did that shaped and molded and changed the trajectory of where my life was going, how I communicated with people, my personal feelings of depression and confusion and, low self-esteem. I really didn't want to say low self-esteem, but just not holding myself as high as I should be in everything that I did, whether it was relationships or my work environment and things of that nature. A relationship with God and getting to the point where you can hear his guidance, where you can tap into the nudges and the fresh thoughts and the fresh feelings that you get when you get direction from God is like none other. And it allows your shoulders to rest, and it allows the stress to cease from existing because you are not always the one that is taking those steps. You are getting direction and you're taking steps in your best interest, which is what I mean by your greatest and highest good. So I just really wanted to say that because I don't want anyone to get into the point where they're like, well, she said do this and she said do that. Well, if I don't do it this way, blah, blah. No, please don't get caught up in that. I am encouraging you to do these things because I personally believe that they will enhance your life in ways that you could never imagine. And because I did these things, because I was so adamant about feeling good, not just being happy, but just feeling comfortable within your own skin, having the confidence in knowing that what it is that you're doing for yourself, what it is that you're doing for you. Because see, the thing about it is, like, a lot of people, when they're talking about relationships and stuff like that, oh, if this, that, or the other thing, like, if you're not good, nothing else around you is good. If you're not good, nothing else around you is good, meaning your household, your children, your relationships, nothing is good. And what I'm trying to implore you, excuse me for mixing up my words. What I am imploring is that when you have a relationship with God, there's peace, there's happiness, there's understanding, there's just a shift and a change in who you are at your core. And you are allowed to be who you were made to be in the first place. And if that is a desire of yours, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't, the names, morning routine, all this other stuff, none of that is important. What is important is that you take the steps to build a relationship with God. And in order for you to do that, a lot of the things that you do now will cease. And what I mean by that is, like, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you do? Most people, I think it's like 80%, 82% of people, like, either are laying with their phone is on the dresser next to them, or whatever the case may be. How about you don't do that? How about you stop that altogether? And this is what I mean by your entire life will change, because most people somewhat addicted to their phone, to the point where they're sleeping with their phone, or their phone is like with them or within arm's reach. But how about you put your phone in another room, and when you wake up in the morning, you commune with God. You say your prayers, or a mantra, or whatever the case may be. How about after that, after you commune with God, how about you get up and you go get you a drink of water, and you drink that full glass of water? See, we haven't even tapped into the full extent of what a morning routine can be for you, and how it can shift your day, how it can shift your state, how you can continue this practice on a daily basis, and within a month you will see a change. I mean, you could see a change within a couple of days. It just depends on who you are and what it is that you're dealing with. But yeah, there's definitely more to this. This is just like a cookie cutter kind of explanation of some things that this person could do, or you or anyone else can do to build this. Because yes, it's about both. It's about a routine in the morning, and it's about building a relationship with God. But all of these things are centered around you giving time to building this relationship, and you giving time to God. And it doesn't necessarily, well, I'm not going to say it doesn't necessarily. I personally believe that this is important. But you have free will to do whatever it is that is good for you, because this is what was good for me. And I'm sharing it because I believe that this could be good for, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. What was the other thing that I wanted to say? I think I'm going to stop right here, because I'm just kind of rambling on, but I hope that what it is that I'm saying is something that you need to hear. I just wanted to put a little bit of an explanation on it, because I think that what's most important to me is that you get the message, that you get the message, that the message is what's most important, and that you don't get caught up in the steps and how to do it and when to do it and how long to do it and all of these things. Because I got stuck in that space where I was like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. Oh, I didn't do this. Or, oh, this morning I didn't get up. No. Like, if you miss a day, start over the next day. Like, don't be hard on yourself. This is a total shift in what you've ever done. It's something new. So you have to be patient with yourself. But I also just want to make sure that you make it your own, so that it's not stressful, so that you're not, and that's another reason. I'm sorry. Let me speak on this, and then we will end this episode. That's another reason why I am saying this, because I'll just give you an example. I was a single mom. And so, when I was listening to the gurus, oh, billionaires get up at 4:30 in the morning, blah, 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 millionaires, blah, 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 all this other stuff. These are gurus, people that I'm listening to, personal development, whatever, right? But when I started that practice, what I found was it made my entire life easier. And I'll just give you an example. I got up, for the most part. Sometimes I got up earlier, but I got up for the most part around 4:45, 5 o'clock every morning. And, I would go into my routine, and sometimes I would do exercise first, and sometimes I would do exercise after, my meditation, prayer, blah, blah, blah. And I would do my praise and worship on the way to work. Okay, so you can make it whatever. But again, I would get up, my alarm clock would go off in the very beginning. My alarm clock would go off around 4:30, because I figured, oh, I'm probably going to hit the snooze button a couple of times. And I would get up at 4:45. I would leave my room, go into my sacred space, which was in a totally different room, sit on the floor with my pillows and my journals and, all of the things that I had in my sacred space. I had lots of stuff there. It was very comfy. I had a blanket, all of this stuff, right? And I would just sit in silence. And then after I did the silence, then I would, say a prayer and do mantras and affirmations and things of that nature. And then once I got into the feeling like I had called God into my space to where I was, then I would write in my journal. And so that time, the time over time extended. Sometimes I would be in my sacred space for an hour. Sometimes I'd be in my sacred space for 2 hours. But when I was, working, I would stay in my sacred space until about 6. And 6 o'clock, I would exercise. Sometimes I'd exercise for an hour. Sometimes I'd exercise for a half an hour. It just depends on what I was doing. And then it's time to take a shower. It's time to get dressed. It's time to go to work. But when I tell you that I felt like I was on top of the world, because in my sacred space, I'm reading, I'm writing out the things that I want to do. I'm writing out what I'm grateful for. All of these things are going on in my sacred space. And then I'm exercising. So, I'm just feeling really, really good. Take a shower, get dressed, then on the way to work, I'm listening to my praise and worship music. When I go into work, I am on cloud 9. Now, depending on what your work environment is like, you might need the praise and worship on the way to work. I needed it. And I needed it so much so that I listened to praise and worship throughout the day. I had earbuds in my ear because my environment was so toxic. I cannot even tell you. And so even throughout the day, I listen to motivational, motivational recordings. I listen to praise and worship. Towards like my lunchtime, I would go into the bathroom and I would do some sort of like prayer or something like that. Like I literally, in the very beginning, I needed all of these things. All of these things I needed so that I could feel good, so that I could continue the feeling that I had when I came in the morning. So there is definitely an extension of what it is that I can talk about as far as building a relationship with God, but just taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health, taking care, just self-care, period. If this is what you need to get through your day, is this is what you need to get through your relationship, is this is what you need to get through, your parenting. I mean, parenting, we can go into that literally. There's so many things that go on in life where you need guidance, you need direction, or you just need to feel better about yourself, about what you're doing, how you're handling yourself. This is where this tool, this entity, this divine power, this source comes in. And that's why I kept saying, it changed my life, it changed my life, it changed my life, it changed my life. Yes. So I'm going to end here. And before I end this episode, I want to share something with you. I think I put it somewhere on my podcast description, but God came to me earlier this year and told me to create a call where I can actually speak to those who are interested in what it is that I'm teaching. Maybe you have questions. Maybe you have concerns. Maybe you have, I don't know. Maybe you want to share something about what it is that you're going through and you need someone to listen. Or maybe you just need to be part of a community where you can see from the people that are speaking that you're not alone, that other people are going through the same thing that you're going through. So I decided that I was going to, create a waiting list because I want to get at least maybe 20, 25 people on the call. So I have created a wait list. I've created an invitation. There's a recording on my Koji, which is the link, my link, excuse me, to all of my stuff. Let's just say that. And so when you click on my Koji, you'll see an invite and you'll see the call. So the invite is just a voice note from me. The call is where you can go to a link and add your email address to my waiting list. And once I get about 20 to 25 people, we will start the call. The call will be called Crossing Bridges with Ray, the conversation. That's what it'll be. So all of those things are, if you just click on my link, my Koji link, I think it says with Koji at XO Love Ray. If you click on that, it will take you to everything it is that you need to know and whatever else that it is that I'm offering. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, and I pray that you have an amazing day, and I pray that something that I said was beneficial to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Soul Food family, for listening to the sound of my voice. Thank you for listening to Crossing Bridges with Ray.